Water levels are up almost 4 feet. I'm really torn on what to do. It's gonna be very dangerous. Everything I have is wet now. I don't know if it's safe to get back out there. There's stuff like that, half the size of a car, floating down the river. It's still rising. All right, I gotta get this tarp down quick before all my stuff gets washed away. I just wish the rain would let up. A little sketchy, I probably better put this camera away. I feel like the water speed has picked up. My last mile was 6 minutes. Thank goodness I was not camped out on an island last night. I would have been finished. Thought I'd give you a little look at my neighbor here. A 25-foot tree. Boy, there's these weird boils that just all of a sudden appear. One just happened right there in front of me. This rain ever going to let up? I got a floating island in front of me. Man, we are cruising. This is so fun. This is the hardest I've had to paddle all day. It's pretty stagnant out here. Little Miami Rope Swing 2022! Woohoo! All right, so this is the entrance to the parking lot that I'm leaving my truck at here at the Four Seasons Fuel Dock, right behind this RV park. There's a little access road that comes down here. There's the sign, Fuel Dock, private property, no trespassing. But I called the owner, Tom, down here, and he said it was no problem to leave my truck here as long as I let him know that I'm here. Nice private place. I think I'll be safe back here. Right on the banks of the Ohio River. There she is. This is where I hope to exit the Ohio River here in 3 days. This is the Four Seasons Fuel Dock, little fueling station down there right on the banks of the Ohio River. We got an Uber ride back to Mather's Mill, and we're gonna get on the river. There goes my Uber driver. I'm completely on my own. And right there's the Little Miami River. All right, here we go. Finally back on the Little Miami River. Right behind me is Mather's Mill ODNR public access and Route 7, I think it is, crossing the river right there. It is 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon. So getting down here to the river ended up turning into an all morning affair. I slept in a little bit. I didn't get on the road till 9 a.m. I had to come here to Mather's Mill to drop off my kayak and all my supplies. Except my backpack, I took that with me, and then drove down to Four Seasons Fuel Dock right on the Ohio River where the Little Miami exits into the Ohio River, and left my truck there in a parking lot and took an Uber back up here to Mather's Mill. It was about a 35-minute drive, so not too bad. But I'm finally here. It is 1 p.m. The rain is holding off. I can't believe it. They were calling for rain for 3 days straight, and right now it is partly sunny, mostly cloudy, I would say. I see a little bit of blue sky, very humid, and 80 degrees. So glad to be back on the water, and thanks for joining me. Well, let's get moving. So I currently have 46 miles, river miles left to exit the Little Miami River into the Ohio River. So I'm hoping to do 15 to 18 miles a day. Probably a little less today since I'm getting a late start. But this is going to be 2 nights on the river, 3 days, and I am really excited to enjoy some time off over this Labor Day weekend paddling the rest of the Little Miami River. on this section of river, I wanted more details about where possible campsites would be and restaurants, because I really struggled finding places to camp last time. So I printed these off of some website. I can't remember the name of it right offhand. I will put it down in the description though. And I added a lot of notes here of different things along the way of note and put it on my own Excel spreadsheet. The red ones are restaurants. Look at all those. And the green ones are breweries that have food. And all the ones that are not highlighted are islands or other possible places on the riverbank that I could see on Google Earth that looked conducive to camping. So this will come in really handy. Well, we have some noisy water up ahead. I'm guessing it's a very shallow spot, and I am loaded down to the hilt right now, so I'm sure I'm gonna drag. And the bridge up ahead is I-71. Very noisy right here. I am in complete disbelief. Look at this, we got blue skies, and the sun is almost out in full force. There's like 60% chance of rain for 3 straight days. I did not think I would see the sun, and I almost canceled the trip. I mean, I was going back and forth on it this morning until 9 o'clock until I left. I was packed and ready to go, but I just about canceled it. Wow, that is a high bridge. I'm pretty sure that's at least 200 feet. And look at the sunshine. Yeah, buddy. My kind of water right here. So if you're curious about what the water levels are right now, I checked them before I left, and we are at about 6.5 feet at the Milford gauge. Now, I'm not quite to Milford. I'm in Loveland, Ohio, and Old Town is behind me, so I'm kind of between Old Town and Milford. Old Town's still pretty low, and when I did those upper sections, I was down below 2 feet. I was dragging a lot. I've heard that running this section, the Milford gauge should say around 5 feet. We're currently 6.5. It is trending down, but there is possible rain coming, so it could jump back up. But I'm pretty happy with the water levels. I mean, we're in a slow, stagnant spot right now. But my biggest concern is there's a flood watch in Cincinnati for the next 2 days. So I'm gonna make sure I am high and dry when I set up my camp at night. I'm not gonna risk losing my kayak like I did on the Big Darby. But yeah, the water levels are pretty nice right now, and I'm happy with the flow and the height of it. I can't remember the cubic feet per second. I will get back with you on that and let you know, or I'll put it on the screen right now of what the water discharge rate is, cubic feet per second. The weather is very pleasant right now. Very nice. Good day to be in the water. Well, you can definitely tell it's Labor Day weekend. Look at this group. There's 30 people ahead of me. There's like a little sandbar. Everybody's out staying on the sandbar. I don't know what's going on. If they weren't there, it'd be the perfect place for me to stop and fly the drone. I guess this is where the Labor Day party's happening right here, folks. Quite the hangout. I'll probably be seeing things like this all the way down the river today. Man, we have some campsites right here. There's still a campfire smoldering up there. Wow, that's beautiful. What a perfect place to camp. Pretty cool little cabins. So I believe this is Morgan's Riverside Campground and Canoe Livery. Currently 5 miles in, and I just heard some rumbling downriver. And it's cooled off about 10 degrees. I think I'm gonna get hit by a shower here shortly. Well, unfortunately, it's beginning to sprinkle, and I'm gonna have to put my camera away in the dry bag. Just chilling under my umbrella, about 8 miles in currently. Wondering if this rain is ever going to end. I'm staying drier this way versus using my Helium 2 rain jacket, but it's very difficult to paddle while holding a umbrella with one hand. So I'm kind of at the mercy of the river, just floating along. We have 3 kids up here that have been enjoying a rope swing. Looks like they're drying off and done for the day. I'm thinking about going over and partaking. I'm already a little bit wet from the rain. Why not? All right, what's your names?
Ben.
Ben?
I'm Kyle.
All right, we got Ben, Brian, and Kyle here. Getting ready to do the rope swing here on the Little Miami River.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping to see a backflip like you did. Nice one. Here goes Kyle. Oh, a front flip. Nice. I don't know if I can do a front flip. All right. Is this a good spot to jump from right here?
Yep.
Any certain knot that's better than another?
No, the higher the better though.
Yeah. Probably right here.
Yeah, that's good. There you go.
All right, here we go. Little Miami Rope Swing 2022. Woohoo! Yeah! Oh. Yes! Woo! Oh, that was a good time. I'm glad I finally decided to do a rope swing on the Little Miami. I mean, I could not have done the entire Little Miami River without stopping for at least one rope swing. Fortunately, the rain has stopped and it is gorgeous out again. Very comfortable, probably 75 degrees. The humidity is down a little bit. The sun is trying to sneak out again one last time this afternoon. It's currently about 4:30. So I'm hoping to go about 2 more hours before starting to look for camp. To be honest with you, I didn't really want to get out and get wet. But, you know, if those 3 teenagers weren't there doing those backflips, I probably would have went right on by, but I couldn't resist. When I see people enjoying a rope swing, and especially when I find one that's like 35 feet up in the air with some deep water, man, it was hard to pass up. So glad I stopped and did it. That was a good time. It's very, very quiet out here. It's almost eerie. I did not ever think I would feel like I was in the middle of nowhere on the Little Miami River, but I do right now. That is a very cool railroad bridge. I'm passing through South Lebanon, however you say it. Getting close to Cartridge Brewing. I might stop in there and grab a bite to eat, or I may just find a good place to camp and cook out a little fire tonight. I haven't decided yet. Well, I just passed Cartridge Brewing. I'm at mile 16, and I thought I was going to be able to get out there and eat, but there was not an easy access. It was terrible. If you want to go to Cartridge Brewing, you need to get out on River Left before you go under the bridge. You can see the big warehouse on River Left. There is a little footpath up there. You're probably going to walk about a quarter mile to get to Cartridge Brewing. They do offer food. But I was trying to go a little further under the bridge and then looked left, and there was nowhere to get out. So I had to scrap that idea. I am 16 miles in and I am looking for a place to camp now. It's 6:30. I want to find a good place to hang my hammock. I brought my duplex if I have to use a tent, but I'd like to hang my hammock tonight, and I have some good food to cook. I was thinking about saving it for tomorrow at lunch and eat at Cartridge Brewing tonight, but since that didn't work out, we gotta find a place to set up camp and get a fire going here real soon. So I am currently passing Kings Island. It is so noisy. I know the camera's not gonna pick it up, but it sounds like a jet engine going off, the roller coaster noise. And then you hear all the kids screaming. It is terrible. I mean, I've got to get through this area Can you hear that? You hear like a loud jet engine noise, and then you hear all the screams. There's no way I want to camp right here. I need to get another half mile downriver, but I'm running out of time. It's like almost 7 o'clock, so I need to find camp very quickly so I can set up and get a fire going and get some dinner cooking. All right, camp is all set up for the evening. Hopefully I am not too close to the water. I can't imagine the water making it all the way up to here though. Well, unfortunately I failed miserably at starting a fire right there. So I'm resorting to Mountain House meal. Old reliable backup. I've never had the pad thai and chicken. Looking forward to it. Hopefully tomorrow I can get a fire started because I have 2 meals that I brought with me for this kayak trip that require a fire, and they're calling for rain on and off all day tomorrow and the next day, so this might get a little tricky. Fortunately, I have some restaurants along the way as a backup if I can't get a fire going. We will see. All right, I'm gonna enjoy my pad thai. I'll see you guys in the morning. Just when I thought I was gonna get to sleep, the fireworks are going off at Kings Island. Wow. Good morning. Let me show you the scene we have going on right now. Water levels are up almost 4 feet, let's say. And you can see my things are about to get washed away. I'm gonna have to walk out in the foot of water right there to get my last hammock stake, tarp stake out. It's already a foot in the water. I originally was between that little tree and that tree. If I would have stayed there, I would be completely underwater, or all my gear would have been. My kayak was out there last night. And this is a rock, kind of a gravel area. It is just an absolute torrent out there right now. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know if it's safe to get back out there. So there wasn't even water trickling out of this little creek here last night. And it is a raging river now. Man, that water's moving. All right, I gotta get this tarp down quick before all my stuff gets washed away. Man, I don't know what to do. That is a raging torrent. It's gotta be going 8, 10 mile an hour. And I see the logs floating by, 40 feet long, debris. It looks really fun, but it's probably very dangerous. So here, I'll point out again where I was set up. Right there. That is where my hammock was. It's in 3 feet of water now, maybe 2. And then that was at 3 o'clock. I had to get up and move that one. And this was 2 feet higher above ground. I thought I'd be in good shape, so I moved here. And then at 6 o'clock, the water got up to me there, so I had to tear everything down. I just got up for good. So now I'm up here safe and sound on a dry bank. I'm really torn on what to do because this looks really fun and I could potentially finish the entire river today if it's moving that fast. However, it's going to be very dangerous. Everything I have is wet now. I got a half a notion to call up an Uber and get a ride back to my truck. It's going to cost me 30 or 40 bucks, but that's a small price to pay. To be safe, there's stuff like that, half the size of a car, floating down the river. Well, while I'm trying to figure things out, let's at least get some coffee going. Yummy. Oh gosh, it just tastes like a river. Nothing special today. Just some Folgers. Oh yeah. All right, let's give this little Miami River coffee a try. I doubled it. Try to drown out the taste. Tastes like normal coffee. What to do, what to do. I'm so torn. All right, I think I've decided what I'm gonna do. As you can see, I am wearing this cheap life vest that I always store up in the nose of my kayak, just to be on the safe side, because it is a raging torrent out there. I'm just a half mile upriver from the Monkey Bar and Grill, and there's a whole slew of other restaurants in that area. They have a pretty nice takeout area because they have like a dining deck right on the river. I'm gonna at least float this half mile and see how I feel. If it feels very dangerous to me, too many big logs and debris in the water, I'm gonna pull out there, call an Uber, and call it quits. But if it feels good during this half mile float, I'm gonna keep right on going. I can cover some good ground today moving this fast. So, yep, that's the plan. Let's get out there and see how it is. All right, I just looked up the water depth and cubic feet per second at the Milford gauge to see how high this water went overnight. It's still rising. I mean, I can tell right here at my camp that the water's continuing to rise. It is off the chart right now at 8,000 cubic feet per second. Maybe they'll change that to have a 10,000, I don't know, but the line went off the graph. So I'm guessing we're between 8 and 9,000 cubic feet per second. We are at 10.5 feet. So last night we were at just a little over 6. So the water has risen 4 feet overnight. This is gonna be fun. All right, I'm out here. It was a little scary coming out into it, but now that I'm out here, it's no big deal. Just floating along with the logs. I tried to touch, I couldn't touch, so the water is deep here. But yeah, once you get out here and get moving in the water, and you're floating along with it, it doesn't seem bad at all. I'm gonna go for it. Unless I see some huge debris fields that are gonna get me all tangled up, I'm gonna keep on going. Just coming up to the Monkey Bar and Grill. This is where I was thinking about eating last night, but I wasn't sure where I was gonna camp. After eating there, I would have had to set up in the dark. So it doesn't really look like they have a good takeout. I mean, they got steps right down to the water right there, so I guess you'd have to pull your kayak up those steps. Looks like a cool place. It's really coming down now. But I don't really feel like this is dangerous. I mean, I got a few big logs floating next to me. This is definitely something I have never experienced, but it's actually kind of fun. I just wish the rain would let up. We're gonna keep on paddling. We are making excellent time. 9 to 10 minute miles with hardly even paddling. Unfortunately, the rain has just about quit. You know, if you can't be content with a little bit of discomfort, then you probably wouldn't enjoy what I'm doing today. Fortunately, it's warm, so even though I'm soaking wet, I'm comfortable because it's in the low 70s. But that was not fun last night, I gotta admit. Moving camp at 3 or 4 a.m. and then again at 6 a.m. and not getting much sleep from all the thunder and lightning. But that's all right. You know, if I keep this pace up, these 10, 11 minute miles, we're gonna be down by the Ohio River by 2 or 3 p.m. So I might just be able to finish this thing up today. You know, a lot of my food that I brought has to be cooked over a fire. So I either gotta find some restaurants or just crank this thing out and get it done today. Well, hey, what do you know? The blue sky decided to come out and say hi. Oh, this is great. I've been getting poured on for the last hour and 11 minutes since I left camp. Now this is what I've been waiting for. I am so glad I didn't bail on this trip. Can you see how fast I'm moving? Almost 9 miles an hour just with a little bit of paddling like this. I am making amazing time. This is so fun. I've never went this fast on a river before. You'd have to be on whitewater to move quicker than this. Woo! The waters are moving through here. A little sketchy. I probably better put this camera away. A lot of debris in the water. That's expected. Boy, with this much blue sky, I might be able to find a place to set up camp and dry all my gear out. That would be great. Moving right along at about 10 miles per hour right now. It doesn't feel like you're moving that fast until you look at the bank. Man, we are cruising. This is so fun. So I was curious what the water levels were, and I just checked the Milford gauge a few minutes ago. It's still rising. We are currently at 13 feet. Yesterday was 6. And 15,000 CFS. I have never been on water like this before. It is moving. Woo! A fun wave train through here. Up and down. A couple of those were even bigger back there before I turned the camera on. It kind of reminded me of coming out into Lake Huron when we finished the Au Sable River in Michigan. You know, when I was planning this trip, I was wanting to stay on an island. This is what the islands look like today. Just trees getting plowed over by water. Thank goodness I was not camped out on an island last night. I would have been finished. I feel like the water speed has picked up. My last mile was 6 minutes. That's cruising pretty good. I haven't had one close call yet. Everything's been going good. I'm being safe. Just hit 19 miles in 2.5 hours. So I've already gone longer today, further today than I did yesterday after 6 hours of paddling. So my biggest issue now is figuring out a way to get off the water to go to the bathroom, or to set up camp and cook some food. Or if I find food at a restaurant along the way. I don't know how I'm gonna get out because the water is moving so fast. And I haven't seen one place to take out except this canoe livery, a couple canoe liveries behind me. It's just like fast moving water and steep banks everywhere. So this might be a little tricky. And here's another issue. I'm dying of thirst, but this is freaking disgusting. It tastes horrible. I don't have any flavorings to add to it. So it just tastes like dirty, fishy, smelly river water. And I wouldn't be surprised if it plugs up this filter eventually if I keep running water through it. That is pretty disgusting. Thought I'd give you a little look at my neighbor here. A full-size 25-foot tree. My goodness. Footballs, volleyballs, beer cans, beer bottles, water bottles, you name it, it's out here. Well, just floating along in this pretty calm section. 23 miles in, got about 5 or 6 left before I enter the Ohio River. I'm getting pretty hungry. I passed a lot of breweries, a lot of restaurants, but there was just no good way to get out. I think I could have got out at 50 West Brewing. I saw they had a little path down to the water's edge, but man, I was moving. By the time I saw it, I was almost past it. It had been kind of sketchy to get over there and try to get out. But crisis averted on the bathroom break. I forgot that all around me there's bottles floating in the river, and I found the perfect one to take care of business in the kayak. If you've never tried it, I highly recommend it. Check this out. I got a floating island in front of me. Good grief, that is huge. All right, I just got off a little spot here off the main river. Look what I found up here. There's like a dirt path following the bank for a while. Hopefully I can get out and cook some lunch here. This looks nice. It's kind of sandy. Very nice. Great campsite. I want to drop a pin in the description of this spot. This is by far the best spot I've seen on the entire Little Miami River so far. There's a path that goes back into the woods here. that way along the river. I mean, this is perfect. Just look at this. I don't think the water's gonna come up in here. It would have to raise another 3 feet probably. But I'm gonna hang my hammock right there between those two trees and let things dry out. All right, camp is all set up. And it's early, it's only 12:40. So I don't know if I'm gonna stay the night or not. But at least everything can dry out and I'm starving. I can cook dinner here. I'm gonna try to get a fire going. I don't know if I'll be successful. I have one mountain house meal left to sustain me for the rest of this trip, but I'm only a couple miles from the Ohio River. Everything was soaking wet. We have some nice sun out right now. Unfortunately, it's so shaded right here. It's gonna take a while for everything to dry. All right, time to get some food cooking. I'm starving. Check out this view. You can see the river flying by here in all of its glory. 7 or 8 miles an hour. I don't think it's coming up any further, but I'm gonna put a stick down there at the water's edge and keep an eye on it and see if it's continuing to rise, and I'll monitor the Milford gauge as well. Well, the water is continuing to rise. It has already risen 3 inches in the half hour that I've been here. All right, here's the stick that I put at the water's edge. And it's already underneath 3 inches of water. And here's the next stick I put up. We're gonna see if it climbs above that one. And then I'll do another one. So it's looking like to me, we only got about 1.5 to 2 foot before the water levels will get up to my kayak and camp area there. And if that happens, I will not be staying tonight. I will be packing up camp and finishing this river this evening. I was so hungry, I did not want to take the time to build a fire. I'm still going to try because I have some great food I want to cook tonight over the fire, if I end up staying here all night. The water is continuing to rise. But for now, I'm just going to sit back and relax, fill my belly with some breakfast skillet, and crawl into my hammock and take a nap. All right, I just woke up from my hour-long nap, and look how much the water has receded already. All right. It was up to the top stick there on the right, and it is actually already below the first stick I put in when I first got to camp. I'd say it's receded at least a foot. All right, time to get some dinner started. Getting hungry. After 2 failed attempts last night, I got all my wood prep done before I even lit this thing. It's still very, very small and delicate. Hopefully I can get this thing going because I am starving. If I don't get this fire going, I have to pack up camp and leave. All my mountain houses are gone. It's 5:30. I'm hungry. I'm only a mile from the inn, so it's no emergency, but I want to eat the food I brought to cook over the fire. So hopefully we can get this going. As I was preparing and cooking my dinner, you will hear in the background some Spanish-speaking folks who decided to crash my site to do some fishing. 8 of them showed up right as I was getting my fire going, and since I was in a public park, there really wasn't much I could do about it. So I just continued on with my dinner plans, but filmed in silence while they fished right next to my fire.
Mayor que tenemos hecho a puro knife.
All right, here we go. Leaving camp. There's a campsite right there. They're over there doing some fishing. All right, we are back on the water. It has receded almost 3 feet already since I set up camp back there. And since my camp got overrun, decided to break camp and get back on the water and get this thing finished up. Coming up on US Route 52. Kellogg Avenue. I think it also has another name, some kind of scenic byway. Riverside Scenic Byway or something like that. This is the last road we are going under. We have less than 1 mile to the Ohio River. You know, it just dawned on me that I don't really know what to expect when I come out to the Ohio River. Is it just going to be a wide open path into the river? Is it going to be choppy? Are there going to be weird cross currents? Is it going to be wavy? Or is it going to be smooth sailing right to my truck, to Four Seasons Fuel Dock? I don't know what to expect. I mean, on Google Earth, it looks fairly simple. But yeah, with all this flooding we've had, I don't know what to expect. I'm a little leery. Something weird that I'm noticing out here is that, oh, there's these weird boils that just all of a sudden appear. One just happened right there in front of me. And it's like not really a whirlpool, but like there's a huge boulder deep underwater, but it's not doing it continuously. They're just like popping up around me. And the water, even though we're kind of on flat water right now, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not flat. It's like we're going up and down. It's really strange. I'm sure everything's being affected by the Ohio River up in this area, because I'm less than a half mile away. One of those things just happened right in front of my kayak. I didn't get the camera on in time. Wow, that sun is nice and bright for our finish. Coming around the final turn here. About a quarter mile to go. I'm so glad the rain held off. There's 80% chance of rain in 1 hour. And the sun's getting ready to go down below the trees. I'll be glad to get off the water. I can barely see right now with that reflection. My goodness. All right, I'm just gonna let the camera keep rolling right here as we leave the Little Miami River and enter the Ohio River. So far, it looks like it's gonna be an uneventful entry. With that hill straight in front of me with those houses up on top, that is Kentucky. All right, I think I'm gonna take a right around this island. Just about around this little island here, and I think you could actually camp up in there. I mean, it's not flat with tents, but there's some nice hammock trees. Wow. I don't know what I was all worried about. This is about as flat and calm as the river's been all day, as I'm entering the Ohio right now. It's almost like a lake out here. I can't believe it. Let's stop on this little sandbar for a minute. Well, I am officially in the Ohio River. Behind me is Chicken Island. I stopped to fly the drone there to film my triumphal entry into the Ohio River. But it's a restricted airspace because there's an airport right over here to my right. It wouldn't even take off. We'll try it again when I get off at Four Seasons boat dock, or Four Seasons fuel stop, whatever it's called. Maybe it'll fly there, I don't know. But here we are, in the big, bad, beautiful, I don't know if it's beautiful, the big, bad, murky Ohio River. Got about 2,000 feet to go to my truck. I thought I'd better mention that it was more miles than I thought from the Duck River, or Duck Creek, where I set up camp and cooked dinner. I thought it was only a mile or two, but it was 4. I just hit 4 miles right now, so keep that in mind if you're ever out here and are at that island. You're 4 miles away from the Ohio. This is the hardest I've had to paddle all day. It's pretty stagnant out here. So now I'm finally getting my workout for the day. All right, and just like that, I have made it to Four Seasons Fuel Dock. My truck is just ahead in the parking lot there. Feels great to have conquered and finished the Little Miami River. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get the drone off right here either. There's an airplane coming up from the airport right there. I guarantee this is a restricted airspace. So unfortunately, no epic drone footage of me on the Ohio River. Doggone it. Oh well, at least we made it back safe and sound. That's what counts. Well folks, that's gonna wrap up my through paddle of the Little Miami River, 90 miles from Bryan State Park to the Ohio River. If you are interested in seeing part 1 or part 2 of this through paddle, I will link those in the description below and put them at the end of the video. I had a great time on my through paddle, even though it wasn't the most scenic river and it was pretty murky and not very many good camping options. I still always enjoy completing a river in its entirety, and I'm already looking forward to the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And until next time, I'm Jason Wish, wishing you a great time on your next paddling adventure.